The automotive industry is experiencing a seismic shift. Electric vehicles, or EVs, are no longer a futuristic fantasy but a tangible reality. More and more people are considering making the switch, driven by a desire for a greener footprint and a hope for long-term savings. But is going electric truly worth the cost? Let's delve into the charged debate. The allure of electric vehicles is undeniable. They promise a cleaner mode of transportation, reducing our dependence on fossil fuels and mitigating the harmful effects of climate change. The appeal is further amplified by the potential for reduced fuel costs and lower maintenance requirements, offering a tantalizing glimpse into a future of sustainable and economical driving. As we navigate the evolving landscape of transportation, the question remains, is the electric revolution worth embracing? One of the most compelling arguments for electric vehicles is their environmental friendliness. Unlike their gas-guzzling counterparts, EVs produce zero tailpipe emissions. This translates to cleaner air in our cities and a significant reduction in greenhouse gases, combating the ever-growing threat of climate change. By opting for electric, we contribute to a healthier planet for ourselves and future generations. The transition to electric vehicles aligns with a global movement towards sustainable practices, reducing our reliance on finite resources and fostering a more eco-conscious society. As the world grapples with the consequences of climate change, embracing electric vehicles emerges as a tangible step towards a greener and more sustainable future. However, the road to an electric future is not without its bumps. The most significant hurdle for many potential buyers is the higher upfront cost of electric vehicles compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars. EVs come equipped with sophisticated battery technology, which significantly contributes to their price premium. This initial price difference can be a major deterrent for budget-conscious consumers. The allure of long-term savings can pale in comparison to the immediate financial burden of purchasing an electric vehicle. For many, the dream of owning an EV remains just that, a dream, as the upfront costs pose a formidable barrier to entry. The long-term financial picture of owning an EV becomes more appealing when we factor in fuel and maintenance costs. Electricity, especially when sourced from renewable sources, is generally cheaper than gasoline. This translates to significant savings over the lifespan of your vehicle, especially for those with long commutes or who frequently hit the road. Moreover, EVs require less maintenance than their gasoline counterparts. With fewer moving parts, there's less that can go wrong, and routine maintenance like oil changes becomes a relic of the past. These combined savings can offset the higher initial purchase price over time, making EVs an increasingly attractive option for the cost-conscious consumer. Weighing the scales, savings versus spending. The question then becomes, do these long-term savings outweigh the higher upfront cost? The answer, unfortunately, is not a simple yes or no. It depends on individual circumstances, driving habits, and the specific EV model in question. For some, the savings on fuel and maintenance might take years to offset the initial price difference, especially if they don't drive frequently. For others, particularly those who rack up significant mileage, the savings can materialize much faster. Making an informed decision requires careful consideration of individual needs and thorough research of available EV models and their associated costs. Charging ahead or pumping the brakes. Is it worth it? So is going electric worth it? The answer is, as with many things in life, it depends. If you're environmentally conscious and can afford the higher upfront cost, then yes, switching to an electric vehicle is likely a good decision. You'll be reducing your carbon footprint and potentially saving money in the long run. However, if you're on a tight budget or primarily make short trips, the financial benefits of owning an EV might not be as compelling. In such cases, it might be more prudent to wait for the technology to mature further and prices to become more competitive. The infrastructure equation, plugging into the future. Another factor to consider is the availability of charging infrastructure. While charging stations are becoming increasingly common, they're still not as ubiquitous as gas stations. This can lead to range anxiety, the fear of running out of charge before reaching a charging point, particularly for long journeys. However, this is rapidly changing. Governments and private companies are investing heavily in expanding the charging network, making EVs a more practical option for more people. As the infrastructure catches up with the growing demand, range anxiety will become a thing of the past. paving the way for wider EV adoption. Government incentives, powering up your purchase. To accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles, many governments offer financial incentives, such as tax credits and rebates, to make EVs more affordable. These incentives can significantly reduce the upfront cost, tipping the scales in favor of going electric. Additionally, some governments offer subsidies for installing home charging stations, further mitigating the cost barrier. These initiatives demonstrate a commitment to promoting sustainable transportation solutions and make owning an EV a more attainable goal for a wider range of consumers. Conclusion: the electric verdict. The decision of whether to go electric is a personal one, contingent on individual needs and circumstances. There are compelling arguments on both sides of the equation. On one hand, the environmental benefits and potential long-term savings are undeniable. On the other hand, the higher upfront cost and concerns about charging infrastructure can be deterrents for some. Ultimately, the decision requires careful consideration of individual needs, thorough research, and a realistic assessment of the financial implications. As technology advances and the infrastructure expands, the scales will continue to tip in favor of electric vehicles, paving the way for a cleaner, more sustainable future of transportation.